Hey guys, it's Denver and welcome to the Q&A for the month of October. And this one's a quick and easy one. Not too many questions, but I'm going to run right through them as I normally do. If you haven't watched the previous Q&A videos, I suggest that you do that because you may learn a few things over the months. Anyways, so the first question is there any calorie or macro difference from gold sweet potato and white purple sweet potato? I tried Googling and researching but can't really get an accurate answer. Is there a difference between gold sweet potato and purple sweet potato, or white purple sweet potato? I had a look at Calorie King and there's little to no difference. The difference between red potato and white potato is about 3 grams of carbs. The difference between white potato and sweet potato is like 0.1 grams of carbs. This is per 100 grams of raw weight. So the difference between sweet potato being gold or red, I think it's going to be pretty much the same. If you're unsure, you can go to calorieking.com.au and type in white potato or red potato or sweet potato. It'll give you some options to select in terms of orange flesh or white flesh, etc. And you can put in per 100 grams in the column. It'll tell you what the macros are. So you can go ahead and do that. In MyFitnessPal, the macros for steamed sweet potato are the same as raw. Is it best to weigh it in advance before cooking, or is it okay to just steam a large quantity, then just weigh your portions as you go? So I really don't know whether there's a change in weight, whether it's steamed or not, or raw, because I've never actually weighed it myself. But I will say, whatever choice you have or whatever choice you make in terms of whether you cook it, whether you weigh it raw or you weigh it steamed, just be consistent, and that way you're going to be consistent across the board. So you don't really need to micromanage things to that level where you have to know, whether one is 3 grams more of carbs than the other because of the portions and the weight. When it comes to potato, I'm talking about. When it comes to like protein sources, there is quite a difference because there's a lot of fluid loss or change. But with vegetables, potato as an example, if you want to do large quantities and just choose the steamed option, go ahead and do that. Again, with MyFitnessPal, there's always going to be food data that's incorrect. So using something like calorieking.com.au as a nutrient accuracy cross-reference source, then that might be a great choice to do that, just to confirm things. But once again, just try to be consistent with what you're doing, because even if you're incorrect with your macro counting, if you're using the same foods or the same nutrient data for a certain food across the board and you're making reductions if you need to, when your macronutrient goals change, then that way you're making reductions regardless, and you should see positive results. Okay, what is the importance of hitting your macros every day? Why is this important? If you don't feel hungry, is it okay to go under your macro goals? Okay, so why is it important to hit your macro goals? It's important because based on your goal, whatever your goal may be, you need to eat a certain amount of calories. And if you're falling short of those calories, then you're leaning further away from your goal. So if your goal is to put on muscle, you need to eat a certain amount of calories in order to do that. So enough to actually build. If you decide to not hit your macros, if you decide to not hit your macros, you're essentially not hitting your calorie goal. So you're not reaching that goal of muscle gain. If you need to eat 3,000 calories a day to build muscle and you're only eating 2,000, then chances are you won't see the results that you want. So that's the importance of hitting your macros every day, because you have a calorie goal every day, which is going to result in muscle gain, increased performance with training, or whatever the case may be. The same with fat loss. If your goal is to drop body fat, you need to ensure that you're eating the right amount of calories to do that. And you're not limiting them or pulling them down for the sake of rapid fat loss, because that could result in reduced performance, increased hunger, and in reduced consistency over time, because 3 or 4 days later you'll decide, hey, I'm really, really hungry, and you'll pretty much just eat or overfeed, aka binge, and that's not going to be a great thing or a good position to be in. So why is this important? I think I touched on that, but also every day you have an ideal amount of protein that you should be consuming to build and maintain muscle. And if you're falling short on that, you're falling short on that goal as well. And again, why is it important? It's important because if you're consistent, then it's very easy to make smart and effective adjustments to your nutrition based on your results. And if you're inconsistent, we really don't know what we should change or what we need to improve to ensure that you get closer to your goals, which can be a very frustrating situation. So that's consistency is super important, as you guys already know. Is it, if you don't feel hungry, is it okay to go under? If you don't feel hungry, is it okay to go under? It really depends on the situation that you're in. If you have, if you're in a position where you're able to manage yourself quite well and manage hunger quite well, is it okay to go under? And your goal is fat loss, sure. But if under means a great amount, and the next day you're starving and you end up eating more, then it's probably smarter to just eat even though you're not hungry. Sometimes I incorporate carb ranges rather than just a set number. I might say, have between 175 and 200 grams of carbs per day. So you've got a bit of a range there. So you don't always have to go for the upper end. You can eat a bit less if you like, but you feel like I've got a bit of room to move. So, if you decide that you want to go under, that's okay. Don't make it every day though, because it may result in, again, reduced training performance, increased hunger, and then reduced consistency over time. If you go over, should you make it up by going under the next day? In most situations, yes, you should. If you go under dramatically, like a lot, then you may want to go, if you go over a lot in one day, you may want to go under over a few days, just a small amount over a few days, rather than a big drop. Because again, a big drop can cause you to increase hunger and then result in the results that we don't want in terms of hunger and training performance. If you're unable to train for a couple of days due to illness or injury, should you lower your macros? And then there was another question, another message that said, I always do this as well, don't know whether it's right or not. So this is a common question that I get. Sometimes clients will say, hey, I went for a run today, should I lower my macros? I didn't train today and should I lower my macros? Or I'm going to be doing this event or something that's a little bit more active, should I increase my macros? And typically the answer is just keep your macros as they are. You cannot control how active you are on a daily basis. Therefore, we like to just control what we can, being your nutrition, and your training program. And how active you are outside of that is out of our control. And if you're injured or you're sick and you're not able to perform the weight training or the training that's provided or that you should be doing, then just stick with what you're doing and assess things as you go, whether it's a day later or 2 days or a week later. Then you can look at reducing your macros or anything else, because to be honest, food is nutrients, and nutrients can help you to recover and repair and improve and actually reduce illness and sickness and help you to recover quicker. So by pulling back macros when you're sick for the sake of fat loss may be detrimental to other things like health and recovery. So just don't overthink it, just be consistent with your macros. If you have an injury, you're unable to train for an extended period of time, just stick to your macros for the 7 days through the first 7 days, I guess I would say. Check in with me, show me what's going on, let me know the markers of progress in terms of your weight, your measurements, your photos, your nutritional consistency, etc. And we can determine whether it might be wise to reduce your food intake or look at other ways to manage your weight better in order for you to stay on track overall. So don't stress is I guess what I should be saying. If you run out of time and don't get to finish training, can you go back at night and finish? Yes, you can. You can always go back at night and finish if you have the time. So I don't normally say, go to the gym twice a day or anything like that, just because I think there's smarter ways to spend your day. Some people may get a little bit obsessed with training in that regard. I've trained twice a day before for short periods of time, and it was good. It was fine. I did get much more hungry though, but at the same time, I may have been a bit more effective with my training just because sessions weren't so drawn out and long. So yeah, you can always go back and finish your training. Think of training as total volume over the week, just like macros are total volume or total calories over the week. Weight training is the same, so it's perfectly fine for you to break training up wherever you may need to, assuming it doesn't negatively affect your training performance or your focus or your mood or your sleep or anything else like that. And that is pretty much it. So it's a short one this month, but I don't think I need to recap because it was a pretty short video, so I'll leave it there. If you guys have any questions in regards to my answers, just leave a comment below and we can talk about that. And until next month, keep working hard, keep doing what you're doing, and let's all get in the best shape we can towards summer. See you guys.